So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the UK and France blaming each other over the whole fishing fiasco, which it's the UK to blame. I mean, if it wasn't, then why are the UK giving 49 more licenses to French boats in an apparent attempt to de-escalate the situation? This whole situation has arisen because the Jersey and the British government are refusing to give out permits for French fishermen who have a lot of them have fished in those waters years gone by, and they're struggling to prove that they have fished there, or they can prove they have fished there, and the UK government are saying that's not good enough. Gee, you lost your license. So on Sunday, when this article was written, leaders met to discuss the tensions, and the UK government said it was up to France to step back from the threats over port access when it's up to the UK to actually resolve the issue here. Macron said the ball was in Britain's court, which is true, and he said he hoped there would be a positive response. Macron added it was not a bilateral issue for the nations, but an EU issue, which is true because this is part of the TCA, which was signed by the EU and the UK. The row comes ahead of the deadline that was set by the French, which had passed, and the French decided not to take action because more licenses were given and the UK promised action. So the row comes, which is the deadline for more permits to be granted for French fishing boats to operate in British waters. Otherwise, UK fishing boats could be barred from some ports, French officials have warned, which was a strong threat from the French, which was met by the UK offering concessions. But later, a spokesperson for Johnson said no measures have been agreed. So the French are saying things are going well. The British are saying no, it's not. So it's possible one side is lying. Which side would you bet on is lying? The French government or the British government? Friday, a letter from the French Prime Minister Jean Castex to European Commission President von der Leyen said, seen by the BBC, said the EU must demonstrate in this dispute there was more damage to leaving the EU than remaining there. Johnson, puzzled by the letter, saying, I must say I was puzzled to read a letter from the French Prime Minister explicitly asking for the Britain to be punished. The problem with that is, according to people that I've seen, actual experts say this letter was translated by potentially Google Translate and was a victim of vicious misinterpretation to the point where they have gone with this interpretation of the letter from Jean Castex to create further drama here when there really doesn't have to be. It's the UK that are to blame for this one, and the UK are trying to make it out to be, this is because we left the EU and the EU are still bitter. And the BBC ran with this translation, Laura Koonsberg repeatedly tweeting this. But honestly, it just shows you how far the UK have fallen, and if you are going to send letters to people, that either you let them send them in confidentiality so they won't be leaked, or put them in English when you send them out, because what they've done here is put this vicious, malicious mistranslation on the letter that was sent so they can rile up the gammons in the country. Some crappy analysis here from not just one person but two. We'll talk about the other person's analysis in a bit. So first we'll rouse about the Northern Ireland Protocol and now fish. The UK causing problems with the Northern Ireland Protocol and now fish. Strikingly, the Prime Minister has lent into the leaked letter from his French opposite, Jean Castex, who said the EU must demonstrate there was more damage to leaving the EU than remaining there. Whatever the subsequent questions are about the translation of chunks of the letter, Johnson chose to point it as a source of not just irritation, but something not compatible with the spirit or letter of the agreement. Now, it's very stupid that this man here, so-called analysis, Chris Mason, a political correspondent, didn't actually put the other interpretations of the letter. Now, I'm no expert in French. I cannot offer you a translation. I can tell you what I've seen, which is something on the lines of, the UK can't act like it hasn't left the EU or whatever. There were interpretations of it. I'm not going to give you them here because, again, I'm no expert in the language that is French. I do not like the French language. But for this man to offer analysis here, which is so basic and so weak, it hurts me. It really does. So why he didn't offer any kind of correction here, unreal sort of quote analysis from him. We go on. The French minister official said, we see that Boris Johnson is trying to make the fishing story a French-UK affair is a post-Brexit affair which should be handled between the European Union and the United Kingdom, which he is correct on. And what we are asking from the British government is they respect their signature. Good luck with that, pal, because the UK haven't done that for a while. Trucks and electricity. So although fishing is a small part of both economies, it has played a large part politically throughout Brexit because we made it political. But this particular row began after a British trawler was seized by France. That's not true at all, because the BBC actually whoever wrote this bit of the article actually said France was angered by a decision from the UK and Jersey last month to deny fishing permits to dozens of French boats and argued this breached the Brexit deal. So actually it wasn't triggered by a trawler being seized, it was triggered by this. Then the French took action by seizing this trawler. Again, a very inflammatory action, but apparently this trawler didn't have a license to fish there, so it was seized. Since then, the wider issue of how permits the UK grants to France post-Brexit to fish in British waters has come to the fore. So what happened was the UK had wronged France, the French took retaliatory action, and now everyone's acting like is the French in the wrong here, when it's obviously the British government. As a result, we can see that the government very quickly offered 49 licenses to French boats. Had the French not done this, they would not have gotten the 49 licenses from the French. So come on, guys. Be real here. Let's do better in these articles, okay? Some more basic analysis from Helen Cat. From a brief moment, it looked like the row over fishing permits might be about to calm down. That's only brief. It is unusual to get quite contradictory accounts of the same meeting. It could be because one side is lying and not playing fair. Hence, evidently by the mistranslated letter that the British government leaked out there. Not hard to figure out, guys. Of course, both men have home crowds to play to. Macron has an election coming up soon, so it's no surprise he's playing hardball. Also, when the French protest, they protest very loudly, which is something he wants to avoid. And over the years, we've also got used to hearing punchy statements in the heat of diplomatic negotiations. But what will worry some is the probability that this could be more than negotiating theatre and instead a sign of the growing lack of mutual trust between two groups. And honestly, based on what you've seen from the UK, would you actually trust us? Probably not, but we can see it is the UK blatantly in the wrong, considering we've offered 49 licenses to French fishing boats. Again, it's not hard to figure this out, guys. Like, it really isn't. And I'm not saying that as a dig. I'm not saying that to the audience. I'm saying that to these, quote, journalists who write these pieces and leave out massive bits of information. How do you write an article, okay, and say, oh, it was caused by the trawler being seized, and then, a few sentences later, say, actually, it was kind of the French being angry at a decision by the UK and Jersey to deny fishing permits. This was the cause of it here in orange, not the bit in blue. Come on, guys. Honestly, this is embarrassing now. And there are real-life casualties of this sort of conflict. Jersey's seafood company forced to close as a dispute over French fishing licenses drag on. You've got a company in France essentially not fishing, not selling any fish because of this row that's happening here. A company that exports shellfish from Jersey into the EU has been forced to close temporarily and stop buying from local fishermen due to the ongoing row over fishing rights. This is the reality of the situation. You're causing a British dependent state, which Jersey is, or however you want to frame it, to lose out. You're causing fishermen in Jersey to lose out because of our own stupidity. The government of Jersey need to figure out what they're doing here, because Jersey exports most of their shellfish to France, to the EU. So you're losing out on a massive market because of your arrogance and stupidity. Are the British government going to pay for these fishermen to essentially stay at home and not fish because of their actions? No, they're not. So let's be real here. The director of Aquamore, Nathalie Porritt, estimates the company usually exports more than 60% of the shellfish caught by fishermen from the Channel Isles into Europe, into the EU. 60% of the shellfish caught get exported. That's over half. But on Monday, a notice went up on the company's door reading, "We very much regret we are closed for landings until further notice." Honestly, like these people are the real life casualties of Brexit, of this fishing row. These fishermen here, these fishermen and these exporters who catch the fish and export them to France, or now I think they have to go through Dover to get to Calais, whatever the situation is. They are losing money because of the British government's arrogance. And before anyone tries to blame the French, again, it's very evident we are the ones that are guilty here because we offered 49 licenses to the French to try and get over this row. That's what's happened here. What should have been set up and what needs to be set up now is a joint committee to go through each of these licenses and figure out each of these applications to figure out which ones have merit and which ones don't. And the ones that are rejected, it needs to be explained to the fishermen very carefully and very obviously why it's been rejected. What kind of evidence do we need? Where is the bar? How high is it set for these fishermen to prove it? If they don't have proof, how else could they prove that they land the fish there? These are the things that need to happen. These are the things the French need to push for. And it's very obvious the UK are guilty here, because we wouldn't have offered 49 goddamn licenses to French fishing boats in this area. Let's be real here, guys. The UK, the BBC can say, oh, it's a both sides issue, ha ha ha, oh yeah, we didn't hand out these licenses, but the French were wrong for seizing a trawler. It's not 50-50. And the BBC need to stop doing this. I'm getting very frustrated at them, as you can tell over the last few videos I've done on this situation. Very, very annoyed at this. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.